Well, man, we definitely want to welcome everyone, to another episode of the Black Men's Locker podcast. Where we talk about a lot of issues and things that are dealing with Black men, and we just have some good on outright conversation, man. I'm Tyrese. To my left, you have Norris.
What's going on, everybody?
Atop, you got Terry.
What's good, people? What's good?
And then diagonal from you got Mr. Marlon, Mr. 2000.
Well, hello, folks. How you doing?
How everybody been doing, man?
He wild.
Living life.
Yeah, this man's to mine. He's diagonal.
Right.
Yeah, I said diagonal, didn't I?
Lord Jesus.
Hey, you know what, Sunday, you know how it is when you had a good church service and you ain't get that after church nap. You know how you just be sleepy.
Man, when you ever get a nap? I got kids in the house. They don't let you do nothing.
When you get a certain age, man, you gotta start taking naps.
Oh, I agree with the naps.
Those naps are a blessing, man.
I just don't get them.
Oh man. So how was everyone's week?
I can't even complain. I mean, it's great. I'm getting ready to be greater, so I can get on this plane and get up out of here. I'm ready to go.
Absolutely. I see you and Terry. You were at an event, man, in Wichita.
Yeah, man. So like I had told you guys before, we went to an event that they had here that was presented by the Wichita Ministerial League and a lot of other different partners, man. Just a march in terms of wanting to stop with the gun violence and different things like that. And we had a great time. We met with a lot of people, got to network and do some different things, man. And shout out to all of those people, man. Health Corps Clinic, the Sedgwick County Health Department, Destination Innovation, the Impact Violence Community, joined the NAACP. We got to talk to some seniors there. And I mean, man, we talked to a lot of folks. I think it was Youth Innovations as well. I believe that's the name of their. I believe that's their name. And so we networked. We networked with them, and we talked to a lot of different people. Man, I mean, Brandon Johnson, he was there, and Levanta, she was there, and Aletha Faust-Goodo, and KCO Hobson's, they rep KCO Hobson. I mean, there were so many figures, and those that were a part of the Wichita Ministerial League. And so, we just appreciate being able to come out there and to show our face, man, and let them know that the Black Men's Locker, is all about, trying to make sure that we, do our part in terms of, aiding the community, with, the efforts to stop gun violence and different things like that, man. So it was a great time.
Oh.
Really was. Youth Horizons was the one that you were thinking.
That's it. I'm sorry. I don't know why I keep saying innovations.
Well,
some innovations are stuck in my head for some reason. But Youth Horizons. Shout out to Rob. That was the young man that we talked to at Youth Innovations, man. And he talked to us about mentorship programs and things like that they have, man, for their boys' homes and girls' homes and different things like that. And so I think we're going to try to, link up with them and, do some talking to some of these young men. Most of them have either just been pulled out of the home or they are on their way to, basically on their last leg on their way to DCF. I mean, not DCF, but what is that? The one for boys where the JDF.
Oh, yeah.
And so, I'm a little tongue tied, but, just wanted to try to reach these brothers, man, before they make those types of decisions to get to that point. And so it was a very good conversation, with him and with everybody else. Like I said, that we got to talk to, we found out a plethora of information. So please be looking out for the information that we will be sharing with the Black Men's Locker in terms of things that's happening in the community and resources. Lots of resources, man. And I think, Terry said it best, man, that Wichita is resource rich. We are resource rich, man, with all kinds of things that can help people, man, but people don't talk to each other. And so you don't know what the next man has because people don't talk for whatever reason. I don't want to, stick anything on that. But at the end of the day, if we're all fighting for the same cause and, we want to see the same things happen in our community, man, regardless if I may not like you on a personal level or whatever the case may be, it's bigger than that, and it's bigger than me, and it's bigger than whatever, little whatever we got going on. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, man, it's about saving lives, saving souls, man, and getting the resources to these men, these young boys, these young adult men, and even these young women, and adult women or whoever, man, so that they can have a better life. That's what it is at the end of the day. So, I'm like I said, I'm elated about the information that we found out, and we got to plug Terry a lot, man, with his therapy, and his practice. So, we got a lot of information, man.
You're gonna be overbooked, Terry. Man, you're gonna have all kind of clients, man.
Man, I'm telling you, I already am. There's actually quite a few Black men that are reaching out to me that are excited about trying to get their mental health in order. I'm excited about that. I'm working on some things behind the scene where I'm going to try to create the platform where we can have more open dialogue about our mental health and how we can help get the men mentally stable so they can go into their homes and communities and create an impact, a lasting impact. We know what good men can do. And so it's not because we're in competition with anybody. We need to be in competition with ourselves.
Facts.
Yeah. Facts.
And getting ourselves in good positions for our wives and our families and our communities. So I love it.
Love it, man. Well, definitely shout out to both of you, man. You guys see that you guys represented very well. And again, like you said, a great opportunity, to get involved in the community of Wichita and just to see the faces. I think the important part is seeing the faces of Black men involved in the community, which is something that people really, need to see. So let's move on to some of these topics. I know we threw a couple out there before we got started, but we're going to start with the first one that's tied to the flyer that we've been advertising. Let's get it. So one of the hottest topics that we see in the sports world today is none other than Katelyn Clark, a phenomenal, a great basketball player.
I said, be careful.
You said what, Marlon?
I said, be careful.
Hey,
I see dead people.
They not like us. So again, a phenomenal basketball player, and one of the things that we have seen is the number of people who have given her the overall credit of lifting the women's sport of basketball. And I think one of the things that is kind of, I won't say alarming, but kind of eye-catching is the number of Black men with platforms, popular platforms, who are really pushing that button on she's the, I'll say it, the Jesus of the WNBA. She's basically here to save women's basketball without giving due credit to a lot of the basketball players who have really put in a lot of effort season after season after season.
Right.
And, the relevance of her, in my opinion, I think her relevance, Angel Reese, played a part in that as well with the, that little, you can't see me. But, what do you guys think? Why do we see so many Black men with platforms really pushing her as the savior of the sport?
I would say, and Terry, I think he can speak on this too, because he has, a platform that deals with sports. But I would say, man, I think that the reason that we see, these brothers jumping on this bandwagon, man, is literally because of that. They're jumping on the bandwagon. A lot of these brothers, man, wasn't really talking about any WNBA, players, teams or anything like that. I mean, you have Asia Wilson, who's been there, who's probably, I dare say, from what I've seen with, other sources, like the player, what I'm saying, of the WNBA, you know what I'm saying? But there were other people that were in the WNBA. I believe, you got Cynthia Cooper, Cheryl Swoops, there's so many others that were great, but because of I believe Angel Reese's, the whole "you can't see me," which is, I believe, what really sparked everything, because nobody was really talking about Katelyn like that. Let's just keep it a buck.
No,
Nobody was really talking about Katelyn like that until they had that game, and then Angel Reese did that to her, which is something that Katelyn has done to people countless, times or whatever, and then tapped her ring finger. And then once she did that, now everybody, boom, this whole Katelyn Clark, whole situation has blown up, and everybody is, Katelyn Clark, Katelyn Clark. But like I said, man, the young lady that called out Stephen A. Smith, the young black lady, young black woman that called out Stephen A. Smith. You've had this platform, all these years, bruh, and you ain't talked about the WNBA in like 3+ years, like for real. So right. I think it's a bandwagon move, and I'm not even saying that Katelyn's not a great player. I would be asinine to say that. Right. She is a great player, but what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to put all of the eggs in the basket of Katelyn Clark and say she is the one that has propelled the WNBA. Mm-hmm. It has to be, somebody. You have to have a villain, in order to have a hero, bro.
Just like Bird and Magic.
And if we want to call Angel Reese a villain, we can call her that. If we want to call Castillo a villain, we could call her that. You know what I'm saying? But the rookie class in itself, to me, is what has really sparked, the WNBA with a lot of the media talk.
Right. Right. I mean, even within the media, it's almost, you see the Katelyn Clark blasted on everything. Now, this is just from what I've seen. I've seen it, and I've questioned some things. I remember ESPN after one of their games said Katelyn, dominated on the court. Katelyn was the third leading scorer on the team with 16 points, while Boston had 20. I think she had like 25. She was the leading scorer for that game for the Indiana Fever. So it's almost, you're placing her in front of her other teammates. I got into a debate with, you know how people be on social media. You say something and here they come, especially here in the South, Georgia, because we just pro Katelyn Clark down here in the South. That's just how, how they are. Crazy. But one of the guys said to me, he said, how can you not say that she's a top defensive player when she's in the top 5? Because I said that she's a great offensive player. Now, that I will give that to her, but the defense is lacking. And he said to me, how can you say she's, not a great defensive player when she's in the top 20 in all the categories? And I said, she may be in the top 20 in all the categories, but look at everybody she guarded. How many points did they get on her? No one has been under double figures. Yeah, so you can't say that she's just that great of a defensive player if anyone that she's guarding is scoring 15, 20, even 35 a night. So what do you think about that, Terry?
I think, to answer your point, I think you're never going to be able to prove something that's logical to somebody who's emotionally tied to a player.
Absolutely.
I think we all search for somebody that's a good representation of what we wanted to be, whether it's sports or whatever, I think for her, in a majority of Black women basketball, some of the feats that they've taken and some of the accolades that they've achieved. Here you have this young white girl, talented white girl that comes in that a lot of people can identify with, that can really relate to her past, where she come from. And for them, they're emotionally tied to her. And when she, they expect her to go in and dominate this league. Right. I think it's the media and a lot of people that get tied into this emotionally that want to make it more of the race thing. And I think the race thing is a big, interesting thing because it's always been there. It's always in the undercurrent of the things that we talk about. If we go back to when things were really segregated with some of the Black boxers, for us in the Black community, seeing a lot of them, knock out of our white counterparts that in a dominated space that was a white space, we were celebrating that, and that's something that we tuned in because representation is very powerful. And I think for a lot of people, they kind of relate to her. They can see her as a wholesome version of what they want it to be. But I think when they take that, they also surround it with their bias, and then they go out there and they say things, and they really do expose themselves to be biased to other races and ethnicities. But she's a phenomenal player. I've watched her. But again, I didn't know who she was until the controversy came on about Angel Reese, and of course they have to make somebody a villain. But of course, whenever they started doing that, then a lot of their bias came out, and a lot of the racial stuff started coming out. But there is no Katelyn Clark without Angel Reese, and I think these two ladies are doing some phenomenal stuff for women's basketball. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they continue to do, because she's only going to get better. But she came into this league and they gave her a wake up call. We saw
it. They sure did.
Yeah, they gave her a wake up call. Her and Angel Reese. So it wasn't something that was Katelyn Clark. Angel Reese got her fair share of getting choke slammed in the middle lane too.
Right.
With some of these big body girls. So I'm excited to see what they both going to do. But yeah, they both are pioneers in the new movement, and I think we have to give them their due credit.
Right, and you just touched on the physicality of the game, and I think that's one of the things that a lot of people don't realize, and why they were upset why Katelyn didn't make on the Olympic team. They have to understand that women's basketball, when it comes to the Olympics over in Europe, is 3 times as more physical than it is in the WNBA. So you're taking someone, who's fresh out of college, fresh to the WNBA rookie, hasn't even practiced with none of the Olympic squad at all, and you want to put her on the team to go over to Paris and get beat up across the floor. One, she's not going to be in the game in the first place because she hasn't had any practice. And 2, we're not going to be up to watch the games no way, because they're going to be on at like 3 o'clock in the morning. So they try to say, to have her on there for ratings. The Olympic basketball is not going to be track and field, and it's not going to beat gymnastics.
Right.
Those are the primary sports that we're going to see when the Olympics comes on.
I think it could be competitive though if they put those right. But again, it goes back into the politics of things. If they put her face on there, that of course they're going to find the media slots to make it happen. So,
and I talked to a few of my friends that actually play. They play more of there's a basketball league that plays out of Augusta, Georgia, and it's a women's league. And I asked a few of them, on their opinion of how they feel, how she's been marketed. And I think the argument that I hear is it starts back from when she was in college, because they felt like they were trying to put her above in a sport that has been dominated, by Black women. First it was, she broke the college record. Well, no, she didn't break the NCAA record when they said she did, because she didn't surpass Lynette Woodard yet. And Lynette Woodard actually came out and clarified that you did not pass my record yet. So you can't say that the record has been beaten. So when that was done, then they said, well, she finally beat the college record. Well, not technically. There's a Black female basketball player, and I wish I had her name, but she still has the highest record of scores in an actual, in college basketball. Unfortunately, this is not a major college, but when you just say college basketball overall, it hasn't been beat. So then they change it to, in the NCAA, Katelyn Clark has broke the record. So they changed the verbiage of it to fit the actual narrative that she broke the record.
And I think that kind of speaks to something else that we as people of color have been dealing with forever. Whenever we make an accolade or something, the goalposts keep being moved.
Right.
It's being moved.
That's true.
So when you have somebody like Katelyn Clark that is in her own right scattering records, and she does need some props for that, and then you go and then you challenge some of the records that currently exist but never receive the credit or accolades that they deserved, I think it rubs a lot of people the wrong way.
Yeah. What you got to say, Marlon?
Well, as the member of this group that has the least amount of sports experience, I will say this. I really feel like to me it's weird, because the WNBA I have kind of sort of followed for different reasons. Since their inception, and I feel like, for all this excitement, there have been black women that have, well, women period, throughout the WNBA, that have made great strides. And I don't think it's really one of those things where I mean, I just feel like they're kind of looking for their Eminem. Like Terry kind of said what I was going to say. They're looking for their Eminem of the game, like someone that they can relate to. I don't really necessarily blame her for it at all. I feel like this is just something she kind of got caught up in. She just wants to play the game. She loves the game. I definitely agree. Olympic team this year this time around was a no-go for her. You know, definitely need some experience in there, some power in there, because them ladies overseas do get down. They do get down there. I actually enjoy watching overseas basketball, and it's the women are different. And you know, especially I think if we run across Russia, that's probably not going to be a very fun game. You know,
right?
That's real. That's real.
Right. So it's just, I mean, it's just hard for me to really give her that type of praise when there are so many women who have been on or in the WNBA, women who have retired from the WNBA, that have made great strides in the past. So I just hope this is something that kind of blows over, everyone gets over themselves, and we can just let them women have fun and play and make some money and build their careers.
Yeah. Well, I just want to report, since we're talking about this, the final score of the Indiana Fever and Chicago Sky game was Indiana Fever 87, Chicago 88.
Yeah.
They finally beat them
with her 8th straight double-double.
They finally beat them.
It was 2-1.
Yeah.
Now it's 2-1.
And you know what? I think what was so you know, funny to me, you know, when we look at this narrative and just the way that things have been spun, man, it's not even really the players,
right?
You know, that's doing this, man. It's not even really the fans. It's these new fans,
right?
You know, that have jumped on, you know, the WNBA bandwagon because of this girl, and God forbid, you know, anybody, especially if it's Angel Reese or somebody like that. Just, you know, they had that game the other day, and I guess Angel Reese was going for the ball, and she, you know, she's kind of swatted in the air, and she ended up hitting Katelyn Clark in the head. And man, you would have thought that this was, you know, getting ready to be, you know, the daggum Tulsa race rides or something, man. I mean,
yeah, for real.
All behind a foul. I mean, and this is the game. This is the game. No, it's not football. We're not tackling people, but fouls are going to be committed, man. And no different than the NBA or anything like that. Things are going to happen, man. You're going to go for the ball. You're going to hit, you know, somebody, or, you know, somebody may get tripped or whatever the case is. And folks have just lost their minds, you know, behind this. And at the end of the day, I guess maybe for me, while I am a fan, you know, of the game and everything else, I guess for me, man, they not getting ready to put no money in my pocket. So why am I getting ready to go crazy, you know, about somebody getting fouled in the game, man? Things happen.
Speaking of money, I do want to give a positive note. Congratulations to the Las Vegas Aces becoming the first WNBA team to sell out every home game of the season. That's pretty dope. You know, people are starting to wake up and catch on. So I think the other teams, the other cities, you need to catch on. You know, if y'all say y'all fans out there, y'all want to put some more money in these women's pockets, that's how you do it. Sell them tickets, you know, buy them tickets, buy that merch.
Asia Wilson, man.
Asia Wilson, hey, she a beast, man.
They doing their thing, man. And I'm glad that you know, even with everything that's been going on, the overshadowing of the league with Katelyn Clark, you know, Clark, at the end of the day, man, these other women, they out here, they doing crazy things, and hey, they being noticed. So, you know, shout out, man, to, you know, the people that aren't just, you know, focusing on, you know, Katelyn. You know, they're seeing, oh wow, you know, these ladies are in here, man, and they getting it. You know what I'm saying? What's gonna happen? You know, I think Flo J, she has one more year of college ball left. She's going to the WNBA. What happens then? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
she's coming, and this is just another, you know, rookie class that's gonna be coming.
You got Juju Watson. You got.
I was just getting ready to say, what are you gonna do with Juju?
Like,
you know what I mean? There are people that's coming behind these girls.
Yep.
To me, that are just as good. You know what I'm saying? And anybody can look good. And this might sound like shade. It is what it is. Anybody can look good, man. If you hitting, 17 for 45. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because your whole offense is built around this one person. Give her the ball, let her shoot. So you can make all kinds of points, because you the one with the ball in your hand all the time. So
nobody playing defense.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
It is. It's good to see her teammates starting to stick up for her, though. I did think
it is. It is.
Because at first they didn't.
Nah, she was getting to work.
I mean, she was getting beat up all around the court. I'm like, okay.
I definitely want to see the passion that all these new fans have translating to profit for these young women, because since the beginning of the WNBA, everybody has an opinion about things, but the money's not matching up to these ladies. So I mean, I reiterate that. So a lot of people will argue various things about the WNBA, but it can't name 3 teams. So
like I tried to buy Angel Reese jersey, but I couldn't find one in my size, because they, you got to get some sizes, a couple sizes bigger.
Yeah, they don't.
They be sold out. That jersey be sold out.
I'm gonna have on a sauna shirt.
Be all tight like that. No, I need.
They might like that in Atlanta. You might like that.
You gonna have on the waist. You gonna have on the waist trainer, Chicago style waist trainer.
But real talk. Speaking of Atlanta, I'm glad you brought up Atlanta. So 2 things took place. I will tell you a story of what I encountered and even what I even saw on the news. So I remember I was talking to a group of people, because I don't want to say their names on here, but of course they didn't look like they wasn't
they're not like us.
They're not like us. But the statement was, "Hey, you guys want to go see Katelyn Clark play?" And I was like, let me see what they really know. So I said, "Oh, who they playing?" There's like, we don't know. She's coming to Atlanta. Obviously, they playing the Atlanta Dream, but you're so fixated on just Katelyn Clark, not Indiana Fever against Atlanta. Oh, Katelyn Clark coming to town. Want to go see her play. But you could even name the team that she's playing.
Like she just coming and shoot around a little bit by herself.
Right.
And then the other thing the news said, and I'm about to read it verbatim. It said, Katelyn Clark brings high demand to ATL, boosting economy as Atlanta Dream hosted the Indiana Fever. Now, please explain to me how one game that is not even played in the city of Atlanta boosts the economy for Atlanta.
I don't know about you, but man, that's when you're gonna move to Atlanta like one WNBA game, boy. That's it. I'm sold. Let's go.
Like, how does one game boost the economy for the city of Atlanta?
Wow.
Did it sell out?
The game, I don't think the game sold out. I think it was one of the highest packed games. I think they had like 17,000. 17,000 plus that was there.
That's a good attendance. I mean, for know,
that is good for the game.
Yeah, they moved the arena where they played at, because normally the Dream plays in the arena that's out closer to the airport, which is a lot smaller, but they moved it to, I believe it was State Farms arena where the Hawks play, and it was 17,000 in attendance. But I'm still trying to figure out how that boosts the economy, because the city of Atlanta is not going to see none of that money.
No.
And that beautiful black woman that called out Stephen A. Smith, her name is Monica McNutt.
Yes.
Stephen A. Smith been tripping lately, man. I'm just gonna put it out there, man. I don't know what's going on, bro.
He has been, man. Because he told, did he tell her? He said something to her in the fact that she didn't become popular until she was on his platform,
right?
Ooh.
And a couple others kind of corrected him on that, like, dude, you need to kind of take it down a notch.
Oh yeah, when people started capping, that's when he came with that weird apology that he does. Hey, I'm sorry, and I have 4 black sisters at home.
Smith. He gets down though. he dropped.
But he be saying some sideways stuff, like even what he said about, I can't go see Bad Boys 3 because Will Smith hasn't apologized to the black community.
Yeah, that was not the move right there. But
come on, man.
Yeah, that wasn't the move.
You kept that to yourself.
But I think one thing we have to acknowledge though, sex and controversy always sells.
True.
And if you're getting your paycheck from somebody else, then you have to play the game. And you have to spin it however you have to spin it and put your flavor on it. You still have to throw it out there to get these numbers up.
Right.
So again, shout out to all the women that play in the WNBA. It's good to see that again, that people are talking about it. And if you really want to support, let's put money in these women's pockets. So put money in their pockets by buying jerseys, buying tickets, going to games. This is how you can buy merch. This is how you can help them, get the money that they deserve. And then just shout out to my favorite WNBA player, Dejanay Carrington. Good win on the other night. There you go. Even though you don't know me, good win. Hey, she be hooping, man. Dejanay Carrington be hooping.
Man, you better put some props on Asia Wilson.
You said for who?
Asia Wilson.
Oh, Asia Wilson Asia Wilson is the one right now though.
Yeah, she giving work right now. She giving pure work out there.
Like I'm seeing her, putting body on them and backing them down. I mean, I wish it was a little bit lower so they could dunk, but I've seen a couple alley-oop layups in some games, so they, the finesse is coming.
Now they had that conversation before about lowering the goal.
We see how that went.
That didn't go so well.
It didn't go so well.
We ain't gonna bring that up.
Yeah.
I want no smoke from the ladies.
But I know a few of them in the league can dunk though. There's a few of them that Brittany Griner can dunk. So it's a few that can.
Yeah. Not consistently.
Oh yeah.
Well, one of the things that you have to give to the women's game is if you want to know about fundamentals and how the game should be played and structured, watch the women's game.
Yeah.
They watch the men's game for the athleticism and the physicality and the roughness, and that's what we watch.
Right.
And so you get a little taste of that with the women though, because they ain't soft. Not in the WNBA.
Right. I seen a clip of one of them. One of the teams was in practice, and they were playing against men.
Yeah.
They weren't practicing against each other. They was going in shifts. So you had 1 5 on the court. They run against the men. Then the next 5 come on, and then they run against the men. They're not going against each other. They are going against grown men on the basketball court, and that's why you see some of the movements and how they play and the aggressiveness, because that's what they do in practice.
Mm-hmm.
Giving that work.
Right.
In fact, they had when I used to be out there on the court, they had a WNBA player that was off season that came and just played a couple games with us, and she was giving everybody work. Everybody.
Man.
Only till afterwards were they like, oh, okay. But she was giving that work.
She was giving that work on the court, Terry?
She was giving everybody work. I get out there and held my own, but she was going through screens. They were setting up screens for her. She was giving everybody shots, turning around like Steph Curry.
Oh man. Well, look, I guess that's it for that category. I know, Terry, you got the next category coming up. So what you got, man?
No, I just wanted to throw it out there because I know we got a lot of exciting things going on in the Black Man's Locker.
Yeah.
I wanted to throw some things out because we have a lot of exciting testimonies that are coming forth. And I just want to throw a couple of things out there that I've seen, and then just kind of give you guys a chance to kind of tell what you've seen as well. One of the things that me and Norris recognizes, even though we were around and we were talking about the Black Man's Locker, we actually ran into somebody that was part of the group and didn't know that we were from Wichita, Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got to do a little bit better job of getting that information out there. But there's a lot of people that need the information and resources that we keep coming in contact with. So one of the testimonies that I wanted to really kind of put out there, and I'm not saying anybody's name because that's just their personal business, but I wanted to put it out there, is a member of the group that actually kind kind of got in contact with us and shared that he actually had the courage to come out and deal with some trauma that he had and confront the people, the perpetrators of the crimes and trauma that were caused because he watched the episode of some things that we did. And I think that was phenomenal. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He said that he got the courage to confront the people that did what they did to him. This is a young man that dealt with some sexual abuse. And he said that he got the courage to confront and deal with the people that did what they did to him based upon the last episode that we did. Can you guys talk a little bit about that episode that you guys did?
So that was the session episode that we had with what's his name? Michael Rainey. Is that it?
Yes, Michael Rainey Jr.
Michael Rainey Jr., who was assaulted on a live stream, and we kind of talked about how often, when Black men are assaulted, it gets overlooked, or because of certain stigmas out there, Black men don't speak up about it. We try to hide certain things, try to shield certain things. And, during that conversation, we talked about that, even young Black boys, we have to encourage them to speak up when things like this happen, because when that trauma doesn't get addressed, at a young age, it starts to grow, through your adulthood. And then it comes to one, it just explodes, at the end, and it comes out in behavior. It comes out in relationships. Sure. That trauma has been experienced and it was never addressed. So those were some of the things that we talked about. I don't know if any of the other brothers want to summarize anything up about it.
No, I mean, I agree 100%, that's, those things are the things that we talked about. And just, the finding your voice, man, in terms of being able to speak, your truth in regard to, the things that may have happened to you. I think, that was something that we had mentioned. We talked about something that Michael Rainey had mentioned, when the young lady, had groped him or whatnot. One of the things that he said that sticks out to me is that, had the tables been turned, basically, and I'm paraphrasing, had it been the other way, they'd threw him up under the jail. You know what I'm saying? And it would have been with the quickness. And so I think we got a chance to just, really dialogue on the, the disparity, and the double standards, that come with, a male, perpetrator as opposed to a female, perpetrator. I mean, it was almost like, let's hurry up and sweep this under the rug. We don't want to really say anything. We don't really want to bring anything out. We just kind of want to go on and do what we do. And, I had mentioned, 50 Cent's take on it, where he just basically was just like, hey, we're not pressing charges. We're not doing this. We're not doing that, which I felt like, was kind of absurd. I mean, I get it. He's on your show. But at the end of the day, when this show is over, he's still a man. And, how you going to just, block this man from, doing what he needs to do? If he felt like that was something that he wanted to do. So just being, that and just the minimization of what happened to him, I think was something that, we know, we talked about, and we see it can be traumatic, man.
Absolutely. Marlon?
I actually got to participate in a little chat session on Fanbase a couple of days ago. There was a Black woman on there, and she was really it was kind of harsh, but to paraphrase what she was just saying that she can't take serious people's real feelings on sexual assault because no one takes it serious when it comes to men. And she, young men especially, and she pointed out that situation and some other situations that came out. She brought up like just, grooming and some of the things that women tend to do to young men, calling like your mom, like some people's mama's friends calling their sons their boyfriend, and all that weird stuff, and and she was just kind of going in on it a little bit. I mean, it was a little harsher than that, but a lot of women didn't agree with her, and then she just straight up said, I'm sorry, I hope you guys don't ever have sons, because and if you do, I hope they don't ever have to go through that, because you're probably going to laugh at them." Brought up Little Fizz from B2K. I said BTK. He was the situation where his allegations against Chris Stokes, even though he came out and said that it wasn't true, a lot of people feel like he said that because he was just tired of the scrutiny. Because he's been barking this for years, brought evidence to the table and everything, and all of a sudden, it's just, oh, he didn't do it. You mean
Raz? You mean Raspy?
Yeah,
Raspy,
yeah. I said Little Fizz, my bad. But yeah, it's crazy because he missed out on a lot of money because they kind of cut him off. He wasn't really touring with them. He wasn't able to do a lot of things with them because of that, and then like Chris Stokes, he when his wife came out and called him out on some things, that was another layer to it, or his ex-wife, So that, to me, it's just one of those things where it's a slow brew to getting justice for you. I want justice for everybody. I don't want to ever have to deal with coming home and any of my kids having to go through that. That's not a fun conversation to have. That's not a situation that I would want any of our children or anybody's children to be in. Because these kids, that's one of the reasons why I really let my kids be kids. I don't put too much on them. I don't let if they start to ask questions, we'll talk to them. But now you're a kid. You don't need to be watching R-rated movies. You don't need to be watching PG-13 movies. You need to go on in there and watch Blue's Clues or wherever you're watching, wherever they're watching today, and enjoy yourself. Enjoy your youth. Because I know when I was my daughter's age, I was doing way too much, and just to see her being able to be a teenager is dope. But I definitely feel like that situation, I hope he does press charges or something, because that's something that shouldn't be overlooked, especially since she did it in front of everybody on camera and in front of kids. So
yeah,
I think go ahead, bro.
I was just wanted to say, I wanted to highlight something, because I think we get into the kind of the controversy of it without really kind of looking at all of them are being victims here. We don't even know the young lady and some of the stuff that might have happened to her.
True.
But it's almost like an ongoing cycle, because we have a lot of unhealed men and women. We have unhealed young boys and girls that are duplicating cycles and things that they're seeing with their parents. And all this unaddressed trauma is just being passed down from generation to generation. And nobody's really taking it serious, because we've normalized it to the point where we just want that person to be taken off the scene or that person to be charged, instead of actually having the conversation like, what happened to you to make you think that this was okay type of behavior.
I agree. Even if you look at something as deep as like, and I hate to bring them up, but even if you look at the R. Kelly situation, yeah, he's 100% guilty. That's one. But look at how long it went on. Look at how many people are. It was so many people on that Surviving R. Kelly. I said, I'll see him bring girls in the studio. I'll be in the studio and see this happening. Celebrities, making fun of him. Yeah, man, we've been in the studio and he got young girls, but you didn't say that. Big Get from Goody Mob. I love Goody Mob. He talking about he went to the bar, he went to the club and saw, Kelly in the club with young girls, but you didn't call the police. This is your town. Y'all in Atlanta. This is your town. Why you didn't say something? Why you didn't call security and tell them, hey, he got some young girls back there, man. Get him up out of here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, for real. And another thing was one of the ladies in the chat I was in, she kind of brought it up. She said a lot of girls like her, the one that did that to that. I can't. Michael Randy, is that his name?
Yes,
Michael Randy Jr. Yeah,
that's his name.
Maybe she felt like that's all male celebrities wanted. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I mean, and I'm not trying to say that that's what all men want, but at the same time, and I'm not trying to defend her, but at the same time, it is a possibility where she thought that was her way in, letting her know, hey, I'm with the shit. You know what I'm saying? And and he obviously wasn't comfortable with it.
Right.
And and she probably thought she was doing the right thing. I mean, a lot. I mean, if you look at that movie with Richard Pryor, the one where he was driving a bus.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of the name of the movie right now. It's one of my favorite Richard Pryor movies. I'm ashamed because I don't remember the name of it. But there was a scene where he had the young girl. The young girl kept approaching him like she wanted to do something with him, but he was like, no. And she was like, well, everybody wants this, So, I mean, the psyche between men and women, boys and girls, when it comes to sexual assault is different anyway. In most cases it's different. It's the same, but it's really different, you know what I'm saying? And so with her, she probably thought that it was cool. Maybe something did happen to her. I hope not. I mean, I don't know. Do you hope something bad happened, or do you not hope something bad happened when it comes to something like this?
I think it just really depends on the behaviors and things like that, man. And I mean, just the more that I think about it, I mean, it could even go as far as she may honestly believe that that's really the only thing that she has to offer. I mean, we don't really talk about that a lot, but that's there are a lot of women who, for whatever reason, I don't know, it could be anything in their past or whatever. They really honestly believe, man, that they may not be good enough for that person or whatever the case may be is, or but hey, you know what, I got this, and this I got it. You know what I'm saying?
That's why.
And so I mean, I can offer, if I don't have nothing else, I got this, because men can't resist it. I mean, we've seen cats, die. We've shoot, man, countries that went to war behind that. You know what I'm saying? And so, just having that type of a mind frame, I think it really shows, that there's some definite esteem issues, because you have to know that you're more, or your worth is more than, what I'm saying, what you have between your legs. I'm saying, you know what I mean?
That's for both genders too.
And I was getting ready to say that.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's with both genders. And then, just kind of rewinding just a little bit, we was talking about, Terry, you was talking about people's unhealed trauma and things that, had happened, in their lives. And, we definitely don't want to make excuses or anything like that. But Marlon had brought up R. Kelly, and it just so happened, I think it was probably about 2 days ago, man, I ran across a video of his brother. And I know that this came out, I believe, like during that whole, surviving R. Kelly situation or whatever. But his brother was on an actual show, man, on a radio show, and they were asking his brother a lot of questions, about, their upbringing and different things like that. Because, R. Kelly has siblings, and they were talking about, the upbringing and different things. Of course, they touched on the music and everything else. And then, of course, it flipped to the whole, him with the young girls or whatever. And the next thing you know, man, this dude is trying to talk and he's trying to explain, man. And he couldn't even hardly get it out. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't even hardly talking about how he and R. Kelly had been molested by their sister. You know what I'm saying? And so, like we say, it's a cycle, and if it goes unchecked, if it goes untouched, you know what I'm saying? If it goes, whatever, and it's not addressed, this thing, it keeps going, it keeps going, it keeps going, it keeps going. Somebody has to cut it off somewhere. And just, I had brought it up during our session. We can always talk about the physical thing, but there's always the emotional and the spiritual thing that needs to be attacked too, because you can't just stop you know what I'm saying, the physical act. You got to get down in the nooks and crannies, man, of your psyche, man, and your spirit, and really begin to work and pull on and dig that thing out, so that way when you can get or be open enough to be able to get the help that you need. You know what I'm saying? Because I think, and this is just my opinion, I just put it like this. This is the way that I've heard it. You can't counsel out a demon. You can't counsel it out, bro. You got to do that inner work, man. Because to me, that inner work is the doorway that leads to somebody like a Terry being able to address, what's going on with you. You know, something has to be done for that doorway to be able to be open. You know what I'm saying? So that way, if you do go to counseling or you do go to therapy or whatever the case may be, it has a better chance at helping you, as opposed to, you know, trying to beat up, trying to beat, this iron door down, through therapy, and you're not getting any breakthroughs. You know what I'm saying?
You said something heavy right there. Getting into the space of the mindset to even be able to accept that you have an issue and that you need to help with this. And we all know that we have the stigma in our community that's so heavy. And if some of us are, completely honest, sometimes we reinforce the stigma.
Absolutely.
I think it's sad because I think a lot of us have experienced not just that trauma, but just so many traumas when we were kids. Like me, I just realized like a lot of my kids don't know a lot of my friends' kids. And it's not because I hate my friends. It's just, I mean, you remember what happened back in things that happened back in the day, things you heard about, and you're not quick to do sleepovers. You're not quick to let them, yeah, you can go ahead and hang out with such and such. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, nah. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know what I do if my kid came back and said, man, this happened. I would lose it. So it's really a sad situation. But I mean, I hope that this all kind of works out in the end for where it needs to work out. I can say for everybody. I hope that girl gets some help. If she doesn't need help, I hope she gets some help, because that's wild to me that she was able to do that. And I don't know what was going through her mind, where she couldn't even do it off camera privately. I'm not saying she should have did it, but she was just like really bold. Maybe maybe she thought that, like I said, maybe she thought that's what he wanted. So
yeah,
and without a second thought.
Yeah,
Right.
Todd, what you got? What you brewing over there? It sound like the gears is ticking.
You said what?
What you thinking on over here? What you thinking of?
No.
That's a good comment. Go ahead.
What was the comment? What did it say?
I was looking at a comment Deborah Pippin Lane had put on on the pod. Sexual assault of children has long ago been swept under the rug and somehow has become so normalized that this is the self-worth that men and women have now. And she is 100% right. You have these things happen to you when you're young, goes unchecked. As you get older and older and older, hey, I go back to what I say. This is what I got. You know what I'm saying?
See, I was lucky. It was drilled in my head from an early age. I mean, house full of women. I remember one time I was like young. I had this bad habit of when I was like 5, 6 years old. I used to, we have family members and friends that are real, top heavy, and I was, doing stuff I wasn't supposed to do at that age, but
pinching on folks.
Yeah, my aunt Shirley sat me down with my grandma, and we had this long talk about boundaries, and it was like, no, you don't do this, you don't do this. They take you to jail. They don't like people like that in jail.
Yeah,
that always stuck with me, and as I got older and I did more research on that type of stuff, I was just like, yeah, that is kind of crazy. And I think that's why I always looked at it sideways. I always looked at things like that sideways. Even when I went to high school, would see young girls pulling up in grown men's cars and stuff, and that type of thing. I would just like kind of cringe at it, like, wow, that's what we're doing, huh? I mean, but it was still somewhat cool in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Actually, that really didn't get bad until the R. Kelly video first came out. That's when it really started becoming taboo, because there was a lot. I mean, you look at a lot of situations, even the music. I mean, there's some music out here I can't even listen to no more. Songs I used to love when I was a kid. Listen to the words now, you're like, ooh, what was they thinking? You know what I'm saying?
That's quite a few of them songs out.
There's quite a few songs like that.
Right.
Like, there's a guy on TikTok that's all he does. He like goes through songs and he'll play parts of popular songs too, songs that you wouldn't even think twice about back in the day. You know what I'm saying? And it just got some. I like them young. Like, what? You know, what you say?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like you like, dang, I can't. There's another one. You know what I'm saying?
I
But yeah.
always go back to there is a right and a wrong way to love somebody. That first lyric coming out of that song is troublesome to me. And it ain't that I don't love Sweat, because I think he's a phenomenal artist, man. But you may be young, but you ready to learn. What?
Nah, Bill.
You're not a little girl. You're a woman. How old is she? 17. Come on, bro.
Nah, Bill Biz DeBow, backstage, underage, adolescents. Like,
yeah, that's the one I thought about.
And back in the day, we was just dancing to like, yeah, how you doing? Fine.
Reinforcing a lot of crazy thinking.
And we did that under the guise of a dope track and the name of the person that's singing the song.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That really kind of transcends just music. Yeah. When you start having a favorite somebody, a favorite preacher, or a favorite person, and you ain't checking the stuff that's coming out of their mouth, and all of a sudden you just amen to everything they say, you ingesting all type of craziness.
Well, didn't that one pastor just get married to that young girl that was 18? Engaged. He raised her or something like that.
Oh, you got
his goddaughter, wasn't it? That's crazy, man.
Something wild, bro.
I've been knowing her since she was 13, for real.
And you've been grooming her. You've been grooming her that whole time. If we just gone ahead and we're gonna call it what it is.
That's what it is.
You've been grooming that young girl since she came to your church. And you 60-some years old, your old wrinkled up self, and you'd have married that girl now.
I was more upset at the congregation shouting with him.
Sick.
I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. That bothered me a lot.
And I guess my thing in that particular situation, because there's several things that we could talk about. Where is the parents? Where are your parents? Was they not coming to the church too?
Some parents be throwing kids on the church bus and send them on their way.
Oh, well, yeah, you're right.
And then some parents be brainwashed. So
they instant babysitter. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true. That's a real deal.
Well, yeah, I think we definitely got to pay attention to both sides, especially with the things coming up, because a lot of allegations came out with Danny Boy against a certain singer, and that's kind of getting swept under the rug. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really saying nothing about that.
And he was young. He was young.
Yep. A lot of you hear a lot of these rappers talking about, man, I was like 15 years old, and I was getting in with grown women. You weren't you? Okay.
Yeah. I think when things happen, certain things happen to black men, it gets, especially when it's detrimental, it gets swept under the rug. But if it's something where we can, possibly seem guilty, then it's just everywhere, all over social media. And it's something I shared with you guys earlier. And I know it's a little off the subject, but like with Jonathan Majors, like when the whole issue when Jonathan Majors first came out, he guilty. He abuser. He guilty. He hit. No one had no evidence, nothing. Then the video came out, and they showed that he was really trying to get
away from the lady.
And went away from a lady. Oh, why you with a white woman? Like, no, let's focus on the fact of what happened here.
That's
like,
real talk.
And so now, what's happening with Jonathan Majors? He's leading in a new movie that's going to be coming out. And he just got an award for the Perseverance Award. Nobody said nothing.
And with one of the most popular black actresses that is like eye candy for most young black men and older black men, all over the daggum freaking world, making good. But ain't nobody saying nothing good about that though. Y'all, he was with a white woman, so he got him somebody black, and it still ain't good enough. Man, pick y'all struggle.
Look, as Chris Rock would say, selective outrage.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I wish we could play that clip where he accepts that award. And who is the host?
Iyanla Vanzant. Yeah.
The moment that they had, I thought was really powerful and really beautiful.
Me too.
He comes on and he's shedding tears, and she holds him.
That sounds like a session topic right there.
Man.
There's something else that she did, man, that I watched when I was watching that the other night that I felt like was really, really symbolic too. And I don't know if you guys caught that, but when she was hugging him and she embraced him, and I mean, he boohoo crying.
Yeah.
You know, she had embraced him, but then after, you know, while embracing him, you know, he was still close to her, you know, head still, you know, in her shoulder, but she began to take her hands and do like this to his shoulder.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? All of the stuff that's been said about you, all of the things that, you know, people have made fun of you about, you know, all of the things that you've had to go through. I'm sweeping this stuff off of you. You know what I'm saying? You're not what it is that they were saying. You're not, you know, the person that the media has tried to, you know, portray you to be. And I thought that was powerful, just in the symbolism of, you know what I'm saying? We got you. You know what I'm saying?
You're looking at a session.
You don't have to wear that, you know. So definitely, I think that's a definite session.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, because just the what we need as Black men from our Black women, that was very powerful, because she stepped in, she showed a nurturing side, and also obviously an emotional, mature side. That's, man, we got to talk about that. That has so many different layers to it that we can have conversations about.
Yeah, I agree.
And we need that. We need that. Our brothers need more of that.
Yep. Well, that puts us at an hour, fellas. Any closing words or any closing remarks? Make sure y'all vote for us.
Yes. Well, I mean, he didn't put it out there, you know. So yes, we are still doing voting. It's voting till the 28th, I believe. I think it's 2 weeks.
Yep.
So I believe voting is open.
Vote as many times as you want.
Voting is open until the 28th for the Black ICT, Wichita Black ICT Awards. We have been nominated for the best podcast category. You can vote as many times as you want in a day. So you can look on my page or Terry's or Marlon's or Tyrese's. We have the links up for you to be able to go and vote. Takes all of about 2 minutes of your time to go in there, click it, and you know it's on a document, so it's very, very easy, a Google Doc, so it's very easy to vote for us. So please go and vote for us, the Black Men's Locker. And one more thing, and I'll shut up. Shout out to Dr. Victor McCullough, who me and Terry talked to at the march on Saturday. He shouted us out and talked about us in his message actually today. During Sunday service. And so we definitely I was on the online portion, so I was watching it. So shout out to Dr. Victor McCullough, the pastor of the St. Mark United Methodist Church, for shouting us out and you know, speaking, you know, well of us, you know, during, you know, I mean, the message, that's the most pivotal time to me, you know, of your service. And so, you know, I definitely want to shout him out, man, on our behalf.
Awesome.
Yeah. Man, there's just so many things that we don't even have time to go into some of the things that I just wanted to throw out there, but just some of the changes and some of the things that we're doing. I just want to note that we've reached 12,000. We're over 12,000 members now. Woo! We are over 12,000 members.
Yeah.
And we're not stopping there. I mean, the impact that we can have once we get everything, we get the foundation the way we want it. We have 12,000 members worldwide. This is an international show, fellas. We're doing this on a big stage because our hearts are right and we're reaching out. Yes. And we love our viewers. And I'm excited about where we're going.
I agree.
Marlon?
Honestly, I'm sitting here just thinking about what Terry was saying. Like, man, remember when it was just a few of us in there, man?
Like 55.
Man, now it's like I can't even keep up with the chats. I can't even, like, it's so active, and those chats are super active all day, every day. Them brothers in there really they're really like family now. So I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good stuff. So I don't have anything else. Anybody else has any closing remarks?
Our minds clear.
Mine's clear.
All mine's clear. Y'all gonna
Peace, everybody.
Y'all gonna stop doing me, man. Y'all gonna stop.
We love you, brother. We love you.
That's all right. Thank you all for tuning in to this episode of the Black Men's Locker Podcast. Until the next time, I'm Norris. Got Marlon, Mr. 2000, Pittman, Terry Talks Terrell, and Tyrese Lawless. And we signing off. Y'all have a great week. Peace
Love
out.
you guys.
Peace out.